Alrighty, what's up, guys? It's Wednesday, July 16th. I haven't done a NBA free agency update in the past 2 weeks. I had some family in town, so wanted to talk some of the new free agency signings. There's been a lot in the NBA. Well, I guess first and foremost, the biggest one is LeBron James going back to Cleveland, which I honestly that's what I had. That was my gut feeling when the NBA Finals was over. I thought he'd go back to Cleveland. Um, Conspiracy or not, Cleveland had three of the last four first picks in the NBA drafts. I think for the ultimate, for the ultimate ending to bring LeBron back, to have all these young guys who can help him bring his hometown a championship. Signs a 2-year, $42 million deal. I know he signed a 2-year deal just to wait for the new TV deal that's happening in the 2016-2017 season. Then he's going to get to take his max contract, his 5-year. I'll talk about what I think about how Cleveland will do in the East after I go through some of the free agents. Melo re-signed with the Knicks, max contract, I think 5-year, $124 million. Some other interesting ones. Chandler Parsons signs 3-year, $46 million deal with the Mavericks. I like that a lot. Trevor Ariza signs 4-year, $32 million with the Rockets. I also like that a lot. I'll talk more specifically about the teams in a second. Isaiah Thomas, point guard for the Kings, signed with the Suns. 4-year, $27 million, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I really like that fit. Pau Gasol signs 3-year, $22 million deal with the Bulls. Really like that. It's an interesting fit. Lance Stevenson, that's one of the newer ones just announced, signs a 3-year, $27 million deal with the Charlotte Hornets. That's interesting. Lance Stevenson on the Hornets is going to be a nice fit. Couple smaller ones. Trying to think some of the little ones. Lakers re-signed Nick Young, like 4-year, $21 million. Oh, Lakers get Jeremy Lin. I like that for Lakers. Still interested to see what Lakers, now that Pau Gasol's gone, I have to imagine they're going to sign a center. And the one guy out there who I still think it looks like Greg Monroe, or unless they're working out some deal to get Kevin Love that no one's talking about. But Lakers have to get a center. They have no big other than Julius Randle, and they re-signed Jordan Hill, but Jordan Hill's not a starter in this league. Along with LeBron at Cavaliers, they signed Mike Miller, signed James Jones. A couple other guys went to the Pistons. DJ Augustine went to the Pistons. Rashard Lewis signed a 1-year deal with the Mavericks, which I really like with the Mavericks. I really like what the Mavericks are doing. I'm gonna talk about them in a second. Those are the main signings. Maybe I'm forgetting a couple. Those are most of the big ones. Still a couple guys still need to get signed, like Eric Bledsoe. Greg Monroe's name's been thrown out there. Oh, Paul Pierce, 2-year deal with the Wizards. 2-year, $11 million deal with the Wizards. And that's very interesting. So let me start in the East real quick. Cleveland. Oh yeah, by the way, Miami Heat signed Luol Deng, 2-year, $20 million. And Bosch, 5-year, $118 million. Bosch worked out the best in all of this. He ends up getting a max contract. Gets paid way more than he would have if LeBron was there and stays in Miami. So now the big three is Wade, Bosch, and Deng, and then have Shabazz Napier there. So in the East, I think I don't know. It's hard to say Cleveland's not the favorite. If Chicago's healthy, Derrick Rose is healthy. Chicago's right there with Derrick Rose now and with Pau Gasol, Joakim Noah, Taj Gibson off the bench. Cleveland, Chicago, a toss-up right there. Pacers, Paul George should get better. Roy Hibbert should get better. He played bad at the end of the year. He should bounce back. Let me take a drink of water real quick. Wizards, with the Paul Pierce. I really like that. They needed a guy who could get some buckets down the stretch. And John Wall's only going to get better. Bradley Beal's only getting better. They paid Marcin Gortat that 5-year, $60 million deal. Nene. Interesting to see what their bench is, but Wizards will be a factor. I really like the Raptors again this year, who are a 3 seed. Re-signing Kyle Lowry, 4-year, $48 million. That's $12 million a season. He's only going to be better, or at least if he can just put up the same production, DeMar DeRozan will be better. Terrence Ross will be better. Jonas Valanciunas will be better. Grievous Vasquez will be better. They signed Lou Williams, who's a great scorer off the bench, who I really like. Also in the East, then it's that one kind of group of like the bot of the Charlotte Hornets now with Lance Stevenson, Al Jefferson, Kemba Walker, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. Who knows what they do? The Atlanta Hawks, who did well, made the playoffs, 8 seed, and that was without Al Horford. Now give Horford, Paul Millsap, Jeff Teague. The New York Knicks now with Melo, Calderon at the point. Bargnani, they think, is going to be a nice fit in the triangle offense. We'll see. A team who I like is Detroit Pistons. I like a lot of the moves they've made. Signing Jody Meeks, 3-year, $19 million. Signing DJ Augustine. Just getting some shooters there with already having Brandon Jennings, Josh Smith, one of the best young big guys in the league, Andre Drummond. If they re-sign Greg Monroe, which is huge. I think Monroe's leaving, personally, but I think Pistons can be a playoff team. Um, but and then so the West is very interesting. Spurs didn't lose anything, didn't really gain much. Gained Kyle Anderson. They signed. They signed the guy who didn't get drafted, the guard out of Providence, who was really good. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. Really high, like 22 point per game scorer. Providence, little guy, kind of reminded me of Allen Iverson. Drawing a blank on his name, but they signed him. I love Kyle Anderson. I think that was a steal. Spurs, you had the 30th pick, but Spurs are going to be a contender. Thunder's only going to get better with Westbrook and Durant. And even the other guys, Ibaka gets better every year. Steven Adams is going to get better. Jeremy Lamb's going to get better. Reggie Jackson, that whole young nucleus is going to keep getting better. Portland Trailblazers, LaMarcus Aldridge, Damian Lillard, Nicholas Batum, Wesley Matthews, all but young guys, still going to keep getting maturing, keep getting better. With Robin Lopez, that starting five is going to be strong. Even CJ McCollum's been playing well in summer league, backup point guard. Houston Rockets, who wanted to get a big guy like Melo or Bosch, who didn't, but they ended up getting Ariza, who, in my opinion, Ariza is a better fit than Chandler Parsons because Parsons is a better offensive player, better playmaker, but Ariza adds a toughness to the team and a better defender than that Houston needed. They needed that toughness, like from Ariza, that athleticism on the wing, just because of the lack of James Harden's D and just another guy to guard the wings like Patrick Beverley. I really like that starting lineup of Patrick Beverley, James Harden, Trevor Ariza, Terrence Jones, and Dwight Howard. And then then the team that got Parsons, let's go to the Mavericks, which I really, really like. The Mavericks, I liked them this year too to go far. I thought they could have won the championship. They took Spurs to 7 and did lose. Spurs, which we know what happened in that, will end up being the champions. But if you look at it, Mavericks, say they beat the Spurs, maybe Mavericks ran that table. Hard to say that, but I like the moves Mavs made this year. I love getting Raymond Felton. I think Raymond Felton had a lot of off the court issues last year. That's why his stats were down. Knicks were also bad. I think Tyson Chandler loves Rick Carlisle, loves Dirk Nowitzki, just loves Dallas. Coming back to the team where he won Defensive Player of the Year, won the championship, and this team's better than that team with now Monte Ellis, who's arguably one of the best scorers in the world, and now signing Chandler Parsons, which is amazing. So you got Raymond Felton at the point, Monte Ellis at the 2, Parsons at the 3, Dirk at the 4, Tyson Chandler at the 5. They did lose Vince Carter. It looks like they're not re-signing Sean Marion, but they did sign Richard Jefferson, who's not that special, but Richard Jefferson's a nice bench player. Devin Harris, they're gonna have again re-signed him. A great point off the bench. He played great last year. Brandon Wright, a nice center off the bench. So oh, and then they just signed Rashard Lewis off the bench, and we saw what Rashard Lewis was doing for Miami, hitting down shots. I like that a lot. And then the Clippers are going to be good again. You know, they didn't make many moves, but they're going to be good. Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan's only getting better. Um, then you know, and then who knows? You know, that 7-8 seed is, you know, the Kings with DeMarcus Cousins, Rudy Gay, Darren Collison there now. You know, they can make a run. We'll see with the Lakers. I think the Lakers will bounce back. I think it does depend who they sign here with Jeremy Lin. Now Kobe Bryant, Julius Randle. They got Nick Young. Those they only got Jordan Hill, but they need a small forward and a center. I'm hoping they get Greg Monroe. That's what I really like to see. If they get Greg Monroe, Lakers are making the playoffs. Lakers will be a contender. Kobe's going to bounce back better than people think. It's the same thing when Peyton Manning was out. They said, oh, Peyton Manning's neck. Can he ever play again? Of course, he comes back and has the best quarterback season ever in history. You know, so don't look too much into these injuries when it's a great guy like a Peyton Manning or Kobe Bryant. Um, I know I'm leaving a couple of teams out, but Grizzlies signed. Oh, that was another one. Grizzlies, Vince Carter signed a 3-year, $12 million deal with the Grizzlies. Grizzlies will be there. They re-signed Zebo. They'll be there fighting. The Pelicans are going to be good now too with if they could be healthy. Anthony Davis, Omir Asik, a big front court. Depending if they start both of them, and then Ryan Anderson probably off the bench. And then with Drew Holiday, Eric Gordon, Tyreek Evans, if they can stay healthy, they're dangerous. So anyway, but right now, if I had to say my teams who I like out of the West, if I'm not taking, say, the Spurs, Thunder, the top two teams, and let's say if we're not taking Cleveland, Chicago, which I think are the 1-2 Spurs, Thunder, 1-2 West, and East, and in the East, 1-2 are Cavs, Bulls. I'm going West, Dark Horse. I'm going Mavericks. In the East, Dark Horse, I'm going the New York Knicks. New York Knicks with Phil Jackson, Triangle Offense, Melo, Calderon, Bargnani, J.R. Smith. See what they do. All right, guys, please subscribe. I'm gonna start making some. I'm gonna make it a little bit more interesting. I think I'm gonna make a little. I guess a set kind of get this a little bit better, more better format, more just more professional looking. All right, guys, peace and love. Please subscribe. Cheers.